any paper bags so you could reprise your role as Emio?
Yeah, so I have a bunch of paper bags because I'm used to putting a paper bag on my head, but they all got lost in a fire.
The new Labo, here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Crawler, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? Crawler coming at you. I'm sorting GBA titles in my tile layout or whatever.
Hey, way to multitask. That's great. Cheesy, how's it going?
What's going on, cheese curds?
Crawler's like, why'd you pick me first? Johnny, what's happening?
What's up? I did try to find a paper bag but it wouldn't fit my head.
That would have been the best TikTok ever. Just stretching.
Where does a crown, you know?
Exactly.
They're not that easy to find. Like I went to Target. I'm like, oh, they definitely have paper bags here. They did, but it was only like small ones. And I got a big head.
You could have just bought something and paid 10 cents for it. That's what we have here.
They don't have they have like I don't even know what kind of bags they are. They're not paper. They're not like paper. They're like felt.
Yeah, they have the ones you can buy for $1 that are reusable. But if
they're 10 cents and they're like felt. I don't know why we're talking about this. This is a Nintendo show.
Riveting Nintendo content. Thank you guys for this. So
you can buy Nintendo at Target.
Labo version 2. At my currently my Walmart does paper instead of plastic because of the laws in the state. So
yeah, our county changed the laws. But anyway, speaking of Target, Target circle deals are going on right now, and I think a bunch of Nintendo Switch titles are on sale.
Like $35 or something, right?
Like $35. It's a good deal.
That's cool. Yeah, very good, very good. We've got Prime Day coming up, and so if you guys
Metroid Prime,
I wish.
So they should launch it coincided.
That would be a really sweet tie-in, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're getting along right now, Amazon and Nintendo, personally. So, but
they're down the street from each other,
Yeah. But Elgato, like usually I'm telling you guys, go to Elgato, like go to n64josh.com/Elgato and use the code ZZ-N64Josh. But for Prime Day, Elgato's having a massive sale. So if you go to n64josh.com/Amazon, you can see I'm going to have, there'll be an Elgato, like essentially like all of the Elgato gear that I recommend. You can go there and pick it up for Prime Day if you would like. So again, that's n64josh.com/Amazon. Crawler, where can people connect with you?
Best spots are TikTok and Twitter. Nightcrawler724. Nightcrawler is without the E.
Cheesy, how about you?
You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Communication Error Podcast, CheezyC64, CheezyC64.
And Johnny.
I'm Johnny Bo everywhere, mostly throwing Nintendo Switches in the trash on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and the Communication Error Podcast.
And how dare you make those videos 1 minute and 1 second
1 minute and 1 second long.
How dare you milk the viewers for money? How dare you?
Well, I just threw a bunch of Switches in the trash for more than a minute, so hopefully I could pay for that Hyrule Edition Switch.
I love it. Amazing. That's fantastic. Guys, you can connect with me everywhere at N64 Josh. We are I'm starting, like we're stepping things up a bit, okay? Like topics are going to be going out on my Twitter at N64Josh. If you guys want to get into the conversation that way, we're going to be utilizing the Discord a bit more just for conversations and whatnot, and just kind of getting more community involvement. This Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, I am doing a TikTok spotlight, and we're going to be doing some retro gaming with Wanted. So I'm anticipating we'll break 1,000 viewers. So if you want to come hang out for the party, That's at 11
Come
a.m.
watch
Pacific.
Troll Josh in action, where he asks if you know where Luigi is.
Yo, it's so funny. It's so funny. And now I have a save state at 9,999. So like I'm golden there. It's so much fun. So, but yeah, come hang out for that. It's a good time. And we got a lot to talk about. What's real quick, let's just kind of run down what you guys have been playing. Crawler, what's been taking up your time?
Vacation in the mountains, so not much. I took my Switch with me, but I think I did my Stitch at night, and that was it.
It was your anniversary. You weren't allowed to touch video games.
I did attempt. We all made a promise last week. I think only one of us, I believe, probably kept true to it. And I'm almost. I'm in the second mansion, but I think I'm done. Like it's.
Wow, I got further than you.
It controls just so poorly, and it's. We can make its own topic, but like, it artificially creates like longevity in both pulling you out of whatever you're doing and unnecessarily just the UV flashlight that is a stupid thing. Just random hidden stuff around the it's dumb. I don't like it.
Did you use it in Luigi's Mansion 3?
Yeah, but I feel like it wasn't as obtuse as it is in 2.
See, nobody remembers Luigi's Mansion 3. Like everybody was like, "Oh my god, it's so good." Nobody asked a question about it. Like nobody remembers it.
I remember vacuuming all the sand. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I remember that too.
3.
I remember the water. That was bad.
You still haven't finished? Have you finished it?
No,
3?
because I got to the water level and I'm like, "This is bad."
He's not going to finish it. We just need to move
King
on.
Boo
He's
up
not
on the
gonna
roof.
finish
It was a good fight up on the roof.
Spoilers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
You're not going to play it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You don't know.
Yeah, he could go back to it, Cheesy. I've been listening to your show.
Yeah.
He has that game just in his library for all time. That's what he said.
Yep.
I do. I actually re-downloaded it the other day.
It's not a backlog. It's just to access the games at any time.
I stand by that. Like
I like that idea, Johnny. You own your stuff. Your stuff doesn't own you.
Yeah,
I think wasn't that my like word of wisdom? The very first episode we did Communication Air together. I think that's what. I think that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's a collection of games that you have access to at any time. It's not going away. There's no need. Like you don't need to feel like
your games, Johnny, might go away. You never know.
No, they won't. No, they won't.
My games are all right here for the most part.
But
they're
like,
all right here behind
they shut down the Wii and 3DS eShops, but you can still re-download.
Are you going to buy Marvel vs. Capcom physical? You should, because otherwise you never know where that's going to go.
No.
You should buy that one physical. You should.
Josh, Rainbow is back in.
Yeah, we're talking about what we were playing, and now we're getting on to the topic of me losing my games. Like,
all right, what have you been playing, Johnny?
We skipped Cheesy.
We'll come back to him.
All right, so I don't want to be negative on Luigi's Mansion. I feel like I've been very negative on Luigi's Mansion.
Why start now?
I want to talk about a good game that I've been playing. It's called Tiny Thor. It's a fantastic game. It's an indie game that's like you play as Thor, and you have Thor's hammer, and you use that. He's tiny, yeah, it's Tiny Thor, and it's actually challenging platforming. It's very clever puzzle solving.
Is this Steam Deck or is this?
No. It's I don't know if it's on Steam. It's definitely on Switch. I got it on Switch. I know Thunder Stash Gaming is the one that recommended it to me, and I played it. It's really good.
It's a little older, right?
What?
It's a little bit older.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. It came out in the Switch era. Like, it didn't just come out.
Yeah. I know. I remember when it released, so it's been a minute. I was just making sure it was the same game.
Switch era. It's like that's almost 8 years now, Jeff.
I know. I know, but yeah, if you're looking for a challenging indie platformer, Tiny Thor is good stuff. And I've been playing Elden Ring, but that's not on Switch, so
Could be Switch too. You never know.
I hope so. I hope so. I'll buy it again. I'll get the special edition. Maybe they'll have like a. I actually made a video about this. Maybe they'll have a collector's edition, and they'll have an exclusive amiibo like they did for Dark Souls, or they'll have like a. They have the statues of Melania and Mesmer.
Mhm.
Maybe they'll do like a Radon statue that's exclusive to the Switch version. That'd be dope.
Easy. How about you, buddy?
So yeah, I finished up Luigi's Mansion 2. I will also say it's not a great game. Like out of the three, there's a lot of stuff that holds it back. I don't think it was boring. Like I still have fun with it. And also the final boss fight is kind of cool. It's like something that I wish they would have done more of in that game because it's really just kind of random and out of nowhere. So I finished that, and then I was playing some Switch Sports Basketball.
Oh
And
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
played that too.
I played that too.
It's cool that we have it, but man, it's kind of frustrating.
Did
Like,
you
the
play?
2-on-2
Have you played online? Have you played
Yeah.
online?
Yeah, the 2-on-2 is
So my question
Nobody
is,
passes.
no one passes. They have the ball and they're like, should I shoot? Should I shoot it? Okay, I'm gonna shoot it, and then they're
Can
like,
you-
nowhere close.
I haven't even tried.
Yeah.
If you pull up to shoot, can you still pass out of there?
No, you
No.
have like
They
you have a
lock you in.
timer. It's like a 5-second timer.
Yeah,
I only played a couple times online, but the one team I played, the one guy, they would just shoot threes the whole time.
yep.
Like they wouldn't pass, they would just shoot threes. It's so annoying.
The
It-
only
it
shot I've
reminds
seen
me
is-
of like
in multiplayer though. Like I did a couple rounds of 3-point shooting contest.
yeah.
You don't miss. It as long as you release it at the right spot, you don't miss. Like, and I feel like the window to release it is pretty generous.
Did you get perfect?
Yeah,
Oh, we'll have to compare scores.
twice in a row, and then
See-
I sped up my time the second go around.
I feel like they were so close. Like I have a lot of fun with the 3-point shooting. And they should have like a 1-on-1 mode. That would be fun. They could probably do it.
That would just be dribble pull up. That's all it would
yeah,
be.
but it would probably be like a dance. You dance with the other person.
That would be Jordan versus Bird on the NES.
But
I don't
playing
know,
with
I mean, like-
rando online is rough.
Yeah, the
So
people
my
that
my
just
question though is the tutorial takes like 5 minutes. What are the other people do? Are we playing bots that first?
Those are
game?
bots.
Yeah.
Those are bots.
yeah.
Okay, I've only played one game then against bots, and I crushed it like 11 to 2.
Yeah,
But-
you'll know when you play against real people because they're not passing.
Okay. I went from the 2v2 stuff. It's kind of disappointing. Like I think we can make a 3-point online contest for ourselves. I think.
Friends lobby. Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that we can't just go do that in online, but I don't know. That's just the nature of Switch Sports. They tell you what you're going to play online, and if you want to have if you have friends, then maybe you can have a little bit of a different experience.
I just shot
Jeez.
3-pointers and I had fun with it. Like,
Jeez, you got
except
cut off. What were you gonna say?
I was just
Sorry.
sitting.
As you cut off Josh.
Yeah, well, I felt like you were gonna forget.
Josh
very
and I can
short-
just sit
short-term
here
memory.
and you guys can talk. No, I don't know. I was just gonna say, like, the guys that are just shooting all the time reminds me of like that scene in Along Came Polly with Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's just like,
Break
make
up!
it rain, and just keeps throwing bricks. So yeah, I mean, I did get back into Switch Sports, which meant that I got back into soccer, and that is the best sport in that game.
Oh, that was so bad.
No, that one is good. And it's because it's different. Like there's a gimmick to it. And I wish that they would have done that with all the other Switch sports games. Like that one is just Nintendo Rocket League when they could have just made it soccer. But like every other sport is just the same. Like I don't understand why they made soccer the outlier to be different.
Yeah. Cryptic's asking if you can only do pull-ups or
You
if
could dunk.
it's dunks or layups. If you pass correctly on somebody cutting to the basket, they will dunk.
I don't think there's layups.
I don't
But I
think
think
there
Yeah,
is.
it's like
Yeah,
a
there's
pull-up
dunks.
shot. There's no
Yeah.
layup, but there's dunks. Sorry, Josh. Now you've been cut off.
I just shot 3-pointers. That's all I did from my chair here. So it started off strong, and then with it slowly went downhill. So
Kind of feels pretty good though, like when you do a little flick, a little flick.
The question from Servant is, if you've never played Switch Sports, is it worth playing? And Dap City says, my wife, blind, loves it. She and I could not stop playing last night. So
Nice.
I will say that if you have somebody to play with, like friends online or someone at home, you'll have a lot of fun. Like I think that's where it shines. If you're just trying to play by yourself, it's not that fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Updated.
I could
bring back 100-pin bowling.
Yeah, I could still bowl. Like I could still like that. Every time we've busted it out, that's been.
I wish you would get rewards even if you're not playing online.
The practice modes.
Practice modes, or I don't think you even get rewards when you're playing with friends, unless you're in the global. I think you have to do global if you want rewards, which I think is kind of lame.
And I think I know Servant, he's got the little one. Like he's probably still a little bit too young for it, but you can turn like bumpers on and stuff. I think for bowling, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, my kids all that is one I bought both physically and digitally so that they could play up like on their Switch and I could still play. And I think they enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, when my kids were very little playing Wii, like they all loved Wii Sports. It didn't matter. They didn't care where the ball was going. They were just happy to be, chucking the Wii remote at the time.
Yeah.
So
Cheesy, have you played? I know you played a ton of soccer. Did you ever play with the leg strap?
No, I haven't tried that. I'm actually kind of afraid to. I don't. Also, I just don't have a lot of room. Like, I don't know. We have a coffee table that's like right.
You don't have the adequate space that they recommend.
I mean, no. Okay, I do have the room.
I want to see a video. You got to set up a video, and I want to see you kick your TV. That's what I want to see.
I'm just lazy. We have a coffee table right in front of the TV. That means I got to move the coffee table out of the way. I don't know.
I got a TV that I'm getting.
You have to move the coffee table is probably like.
I have a TV that I'm getting rid of. I just need to make content about that and just full on kick it.
Kick it into the trash. It'll work.
Yeah, put anything in the trash. Just do it.
So, a couple questions from chat. Dab City says, just bring baseball, and I think it'll bring a bunch of people. Chances of baseball coming to Switch Sports? I mean,
0. There's no
basketball
space.
Was out of nowhere though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no space. There was a spot for another sport before basketball. There's no spot for baseball.
They put basketball in the baseball diamond. So
it would have made more sense for them to release baseball now because we're coming up right at the All-Star break, and
basketball's in the Olympics though too.
Basketball is a global sport.
It.
Basketball is a global sport too. Like baseball is not a global. Well, I guess it technically is, but it's not as popular.
The World Baseball Classic. It's a world sport.
Yeah, but it's like America and then South. It's like the South America countries and then Japan. That's it.
Johnny, I'm just saying we always get in trouble for not doing research.
It's not the world, Johnny. It's like Japan and other countries and
I'm telling you, I don't think there's like Germany in the. I don't know.
America has a lot of baseball players, like Cuba, and
that's what I meant.
Okay, that's more than just the U.S.
Cryptic's asking, do you prefer the live sports in Switch Sports, or do you enjoy the tabletop games of Clubhouse games?
Well, I haven't played Clubhouse games in like 4 years, so I'm going to go with Switch Sports.
Same. Because of that reason.
But Clubhouse has baseball.
And it has darts.
They have Barcade, like the little old school, like.
Yeah, which is the same game in Super Mario Party, which is actually super fun because they replace all the characters with Mario characters. So, but it's the most played mini game in that Mario Party for me for the longest time. But also darts on Clubhouse games is like my daughter's the most competitive person ever when it comes to darts and Clubhouse games.
They tried Wii bowling in in Clubhouse games, but then they don't let you like actually take your Joy-Con and give a good flick. It gets mad at you for going too hard. So you can't have fun bowling in there.
Right.
Okay, there was like Norway and Finland and
Are you looking up World Baseball
Netherlands.
Classic?
Yeah, I'm looking at the World Baseball Classic.
Uncle Jeeb just says, "I'll tell you who's better. It's Pikachu." So
I don't even understand that, Jeeb.
you know.
I know Jeeb sucks at Switch Sports though.
Oh,
Jeez. Dude's not even here, and it has to be a drive-by. My God.
that's crazy. That's wild. So I did play some. I played some Smash, and that was fun. Did some Smash streams over the weekend. I think. I don't know. It's all kind of a blur, but played quite a bit of Smash and had a great time doing that. And then, of course, getting back into some Mario Kart and played some more of that Wanted minigame from New Super Mario Brothers. I charged my... It was kind of funny. I charged my 3DS because I wanted to jump back into Metroid 2. And then my daughter ended up doing the same thing. But she started playing Nintendogs and Cats. And one of her most recent like street passes within the game, because the game had street passes too, was my son. So she was kind of like a little bit like, you know. So got that screenshot today, which was just kind of it's one of those things. It's like it's just bittersweet, right? Like it's good to see the digital fingerprints of him everywhere, but it's just like, man.
I've never played Nintendogs or any of that stuff. Are they like more high-end Tamagotchi? Will they leave you or die if you don't play for so long?
I'd rather not talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. They no, they don't. Like they don't. But it's one of those like you basically do shows with the dogs. I'm not sure. I've never really played the cat one. I've only really done the dog ones. And you do shows with the dogs, and then you earn money to buy more dogs, and then train them and
you could take them on walks, and maybe there's like a present that you find along the way, and that was always kind of exciting because it could have been like a special Nintendo like item that you would get. You could dress them up.
You take your dog on walks and you just find random things and steal it and give it to your dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the dog would like go
lessons.
find the present and like give it to you as a gift, but really it was for the dog. But there was like in the game, you could have like a Mario Kart racer,
like a remote control, right?
Yeah, yeah, and play with it around the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I teased something, you guys. I've been teasing something, right? I've taken it back to the drawing board. I did the first episode, the trial run, and it's very Metroid related. And I've done a lot of research this week on this project for this project, and it's going to take me a little bit longer. But unlike normal Josh, that's like I've got to get everything out now. I've got to go as fast as I can. I'm slowing down and putting some real love into this, and so be patient with me. But if you are like I let a few people listen to like essentially the test run, and one of the responses was, I now want to go buy Metroid Prime and start playing. So that's kind of what I'm hoping will happen with this, is that people will want to get more into Metroid after they hear it. So stay tuned.
Are you working on a collab? Because there could be somebody good I know in the Twitter sphere that would be a good collab.
I mean, potentially, yes. I always love that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it could be great. So, are we going to have to be as patient as Metroid Prime 4? No. I'm hoping
8 years from now.
Yeah, 84 years. No. But I have a very clear vision for it now. It's just I'm really taking my time with it. So be ready. But it's got me wanting to play. Like I want to play through. I kind of want to play through all the all the games again. I want to stream them honestly, but I don't necessarily want to stream the GBA game of Metroid 2 when I've got when you've got Metroid 2 sitting on the 3DS. So it's just one of those I'll probably just have to bite the bullet and do it. But now that Zero Mission is finally here, I'm I kind of want to play through them again. It's been too long, and they're games I only played through once. So, and as we've talked about, we're gonna pick our NSO games. Those are gonna be that's gonna be a hard list, but Metroid games are gonna be up there for me for sure. So, well, guys, we have show notes. We have show notes big time. So, we got 3 new NSO titles today. Starfy 1, 2, and 3. First time coming to the US. I just put in the Nintendo's tweet, are these good? And immediately had let's see, Rebecca Stone, all caps, yes. Roland Collides, if you like Kirby, absolutely. Super Jeff Tendo said they're very good. Think Kirby's Dream Land, but underwater. Someone else said, heck yeah. And then someone else said they're absolute. Let's see. I had a few replies. Somebody else sent me quite the tweet. These are effing awesome. And sounds like these are worth checking out if you, if
not for Johnny. If it's like Kirby, it's not for Johnny.
Yeah, all I heard was Kirby, and then I tuned it out.
Okay, well, there.
So I thought, because I have played one of these games, and I'm pretty sure it was a DS game. Do they have one?
There were two DS games, and only one was localized.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
I've played that one.
Yeah, and Dapsody is saying I loaded up Starfy, and it's all Japanese, so it's hard to follow.
I thought if they brought stuff to US,
yeah, I'm
NSO,
looking at it right now. It's all Japanese.
Nah, their version of Tetris Attack is not localized. They have, what did they do? They localized I don't know, something. I think I want to say some. Well, the NES game that we got localized was Fire Emblem, but that was only for a limited time. Mm-hmm. I don't know that they're doing much as far as localization for a lot of
3 save files, Johnny.
But I mean, Johnny, I don't know how you can't like this because you don't have anything you have to read now. It's just gameplay.
I know. I was actually just thinking about that.
I could tell you, it's not Mario or Zelda. So
that's facts. Or Metroid.
Okay. Oh, that's fair.
I'm playing it right now.
I'm on the first one, and it's just a lot. I'm scrolling through
starfish. Oh, you're a starfish. I thought you were a star, like a star in the space. You know, that kind of stuff.
That the big thing in the sky.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely. If this first level is any indication, this is definitely Kirby level baby game. So
you should be able to get through it.
Clam that's sitting here jumping around.
Oh, but he won't get through it.
No, because it's it is just Kirby. It's just a starfish Kirby.
I mean, you know.
Oh,
is there an attack button? Or
there's a dash.
You guys are all playing right now. I love it. That's great. Or Johnny and Crawler are playing. So yeah, you got. I mean, that's Nintendo's been dropping the NSO stuff. So we got an NSO topic for our second topic of the night. Just kind of some random news, which I think I mentioned early on, is that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has now sold more than the OG NES, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So
that is crazy. That one game can outsell.
Yeah. It's wild. And we're still having a blast with it over on TikTok. If you guys want to get into some streams over there. Now for the topics. Are you guys ready? These are a little bit longer topics than normal, or So here's what I put. Nintendo is writing the playbook for AAA. Yet some would say that they are behind the curve compared to Sony and Microsoft. They can sell 3.5 million copies of Pikmin 4 and say it's having good sales. Hi-Fi Rush hit 3 million players after 6 months and the studio was shut down.
Yeah, players though.
Well, because it's part of a subscription service, right?
Yeah.
So Spider-Man 2 had to sell, and I don't know that this is like completely accurate if it's a rumor, so just kind of grain of salt, but I know it's been conversation. Had to sell 7.2 million copies to break even because of the $300 million budget for that game. And also, this year, Sony stock has taken a massive hit, right? So with Nintendo's idea of good sales, this Stealth tweeted out over on X. He said in 2024 Nintendo annual report, Nintendo called out Pikmin 4 as having good sales, 3.5 million units. They said the same about Tears of the Kingdom at 20.6 million, which is like 10 million less than Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder at 13.4 million. He continues the tweet. It says it's nice that Nintendo sets realistic expectations on a game-by-game basis. So what, do you guys think they are writing the playbook right now for what AAA needs to be? Like, they really have a diverse library of games that, like, if a game does 3.5 mil, they're like, yo, it's selling well, right? But like, is Sony diversified enough, or are they focused so much on these big titles that it's eating their lunch?
I think it's a couple of things. Like, this is either just PR talk of Nintendo not wanting the competition to see like, oh no, this isn't what we were expecting. These numbers are kind of bad. Or what Stealth was saying is that they are setting realistic expectations. And I think that's a good thing. Like, if you are setting with Pikmin, maybe they thought 2 million or 3 million, let's say, and it did what, 3.5? Is that what you said? 3.5?
3.5, yeah.
And it was the best selling in that franchise as well.
Yeah, a win is a win, and maybe it's not what they were hoping for, like with Mario Kart or Animal Crossing. Those are completely different, but those are successful titles. If you can be happy with what people, how many people bought your product, and you're okay with the number, like, I think that's a good thing. That's a good sign going forward.
Well, they also have a smaller overhead. So, and I mean, you talked about Tears of the Kingdom selling how many more million less than Breath of the Wild?
Like 10 million?
10.
They
also charged $10 more.
They made 20 million more on $20 more million than on those units that they did sell, though, compared to, I mean, the 20 million that they sold of Breath of the Wild, because they charged 70.
Yeah.
I doubt that they were expecting Tears of the Kingdom to sell less than Breath of the Wild.
You do or don't?
I doubt that they were probably wanting it to sell like 30 million.
I think it's probably that lightning in a bottle, though, right? Like, you striked once with the first game. Are we expected to do that again? Like, when you're making the game or you're talking about how it's going to sell, like, yeah, of course you want it to do well, but like Breath of the Wild was a phenomenon.
But even, I don't know if you remember being wrong, but you were like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom is easily going to outsell Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, no, I can admit that I was wrong. I'm fine with that. I was wrong.
So I'm assuming Nintendo was probably feeling the same way. They're probably like, well, it should have sold 30 million. But now it feels like a PR, like, oh, yeah, we are actually happy with it.
Well, I don't know that we can see the numbers for the development of Pikmin 4, but I can't imagine it's anywhere near Spider-Man, right? Not even a like.
Can you imagine a $300 million Pikmin game?
I mean, I can, but it's not going to run on the Switch. The thing, like, so is Nintendo, like, the question is Nintendo writing the playbook for AAA? Is the bleeding edge really worth it at this point? Like, Nintendo sells this console at a profit. It's dated tech the moment it leaves the warehouse, probably by 3 years at least, and now it's gone longer than any other console. Like the gap has been longer than any other console before it. So, like, it seems to me like Sony and Microsoft better, like, they really should take some notes and look at what are they doing. I think what these other companies have done, especially Sony, is they said, okay, we're gonna put all of our eggs in one basket and then hope that third party carries what games like Pikmin are doing for Nintendo. But then Microsoft has Hi-Fi Rush and goes, like, which was super well received, at least by the vocal minority on, like, Twitter, and they can the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think part of it has to do with their overall health of the company, right? Like, when you got games like Mario Kart doing 60 million, you have that luxury to say, yeah, we can make Pikmin and have it sell 3.5 and have that be a win. Maybe it is PR speak, maybe that is the case. But they kind of went all out on Pikmin, and we have all 4 of those games on Switch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't I think it was Miyamoto. He said that if they could have a game sell like 25, 30 million units every 3 years or every 5 years or something. I probably should look this up before getting roasted.
Do your research.
But he said something about if they have a successful game like that every few years, they'll be completely fine.
Primpus in the chat says, do you think Switch exclusives are cheaper to make? Weaker hardware equals lower fidelity, less resources needed to create. Of course. And they leave out online sometimes. Right? Like, that's, I mean, it's cutting corners in the development for sure, which is saving development costs. So, and server costs. So that's a factor there as well. I don't know, like, how much are those? Does it really affect the bottom line all that much? I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. Cryptic says Nintendo also doesn't have the tech that demands the push the hardware in 4K fidelity, but seeing Pokemon and Peach with bad frames isn't something they should be proud of. So there's that as well. And that, I mean, that's true. That's true. Like, but I feel like Peach is a scenario where it was supposed to be a Switch 2 game. That's my, and like come out on both systems, and it was gonna run a little less on the current Switch. Again, just strictly a gut feeling. But
they probably made a profit off of Peach as well, because I doubt that had that much development costs. Like,
and probably for the first Peach game since Super Princess Peach, I bet you they're happy with the sales. I mean, I guess we'll find out soon if that game did well, but I bet it's like better than what they were expecting.
But is it better than 1-2 Switch?
Probably not.
I think with the Mario name attached to it, or the Mushroom Kingdom. You don't think
it only sold 1 million? There was like reports that it only sold like 1 million or something. That 1-2 Switch bar is getting harder and harder to reach.
yeah. Yeah, but I think overall the play with something like Sony is like, you know, do they have have they pigeonholed themselves to where the majority of their titles are all cinematic, M
Yeah.
rated?
It's interesting, right? Because like everybody wants to always say that Nintendo is like the lesser of the other consoles. The hardware isn't great. Why are you playing these kind of like kiddish looking games? But now Sony and Microsoft are kind of in a spot where they are going to have to start making some decisions where their games don't have that same kind of polish, I guess, that their games have made us I don't know, like what their games have been, right? But now they're going to have to take some of that away, and I don't think their fans are going to be too happy with that. So
Well,
it's kind of a catch-22 for them. Like, do they keep just doing the same thing that obviously is broken, or do you spend less money on your games and have your fans be upset with what is coming out, even if it is better quality?
Well, look at like Foam Stars with was that Square,
It
right?
was
Yeah.
Square.
Yep.
Like trying to replicate something similar to something Nintendo does, but it fell flat. It was not fun. It was not well explained in kind of the game itself on just how it played, how you kind of set yourself up to win. And they had to end up giving that game away on Nintendo or the PlayStation Game of the Month or whatever for people. Or was that even a Game of the Month, or was it just, hey, if you have PlayStation Plus?
Yeah, no, I think it was free on
I think they
PlayStation
just
Plus.
needed people in the game. Like that's the thing. And even that didn't do well. Destruction All Stars is another PlayStation thing that fell flat, and they had to give the game away to try to get people to play it, and it doesn't. Not as many people can catch lightning in the bottle like Nintendo seems to be able to do quite often. But it, I think Nintendo gets a nostalgia pass a lot of times, and it's just something we've all had for so long that we just do it. I don't know. Like, I mean,
No, you're onto something for sure, because like, you know, some people would say Crash would be Sony's, like one of Sony's mascots. I mean, he was out front of Nintendo Redmond with his blowhorn, right? Like
not anymore.
like,
Xbox owns
It's not
them.
even owned by Sony. Yeah.
exactly. So I mean, you've got you know, and I'm wondering if like something like Ratchet and Clank, if maybe it needed a smaller budget, because like it's not, and I don't have those numbers up in front of me or whatever, but like I'm wondering, like maybe Sony's stuck. Maybe there's nothing they can do, because like that's why we see remake after remake, you know, because they're
painted themselves in this corner of narrative masterpiece, set piece kind of single player gaming kind of overload. And yeah, if a game with a Spider-Man can't break even with 8 million copies sold, like that's a troublesome thing.
Is Astrobot PS5 exclusive?
Yes.
So, I mean, that has me worried. If people didn't pick up Ratchet and Clank, something that looked really good, is made by Insomnia, like, are people going to buy Astrobot?
Well, and PlayStation and Xbox are both in a difficult situation right now as well. Even, what are we? Are we 4 years into the new generation?
Or 4.
4?
Almost 4.
It was like right at COVID.
It came out in 2020. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it came out November 2020.
Yeah. So, a staggering amount of people, and the console makers have done this to themselves. A crazy amount of people don't see a benefit to upgrading their system, because there are fewer and fewer exclusives that incentivize you to pick it up. There are most of the like free to play games that people are wanting to play are just available on all the systems. So there's no system sellers that are crazily driving people to have to do it. And they've even backtracked on some of the systems, like the exclusives that they were going to have with, because Forbidden West and God of War both came to PlayStation 4, right?
Yeah, I mean they said that they were going to do that, but then like Spider-Man was
one
the
of those
first
was a
PS5.
backtrack, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I just know. I thought it was going to be like God of War and Horizon were going to be on PS4, but then after that it wasn't. So Spider-Man 2 was the first PS5 exclusive. Well, I guess Ratchet and Clank was.
Yeah, but that
Neither of them performed. I mean, Spider-Man sold a lot of copies, but I don't think it was very profitable. So
It's up. I think it's over 10 million now. Like as I was looking over numbers today.
Johnny, you brought up Horizon, and it makes me wonder if Sony is going to be paying attention to Nintendo buyers who are going to pick up the Horizon Lego game.
Yeah,
and
we're
if
all going to
that's
do
going
that.
to say
If you're
anything
going to buy Horizon, the Lego Horizon game, get it on the Nintendo Switch. All right, that's the deal.
And buy some snacks. They'll probably be there a while waiting for the loading screens.
We have to show. You don't have to play it; just like buy it. We have to
Johnny's
show
whole
Sony
motto.
that
you don't have to play it; just buy it.
And then you
just
have it
show
there to
Sony that
forever.
Nintendo is better.
That'll show them. Give them money. That'll show them.
No, I think what we're gonna see is what we're already seeing with Microsoft and now Sony, but Microsoft's putting their games on other platforms to supplement, the cost of development, and then they're also raising the price of Game Pass. So currently, AAA gaming is not sustainable, and I think the way Nintendo is doing it, I heard this on Nintendo Voice Chat, which I think it was a pretty good thought, that with all these remasters coming out at $60, it's like supplementing the budgets for these games that are taking forever to come out. Like, Tears of the Kingdom took 5 years. Mario, we're 7 or 8 years in, and Mario Kart 10 years. So those budgets are probably fairly large at this point. And these remasters will keep Nintendo afloat.
Have any of you played First Descendant yet?
No.
It's free to play. I think it's on PlayStation. It's on Steam. I don't know if I think it's on Xbox as well. But it's definitely giving me Destiny vibes the little bit that I played. But like I got to their hub and I was looking at stuff, and I think you have to pay like real money to get guns in that game, like other guns.
Jeez.
So it's like I don't know what the answer is for sustainability for these AAAs or just developers in general, because Rocket League and Fortnite and pretty much Epic's entire model has disrupted a lot of perceived value from a lot of people in how they allocate their gaming funds and their time and what they want to continue playing. And I mean, Epic's making money, but they also have kind of like Steam and Epic and some of these other companies have a diversified portfolio to allow them. Like Epic doesn't need to sell Fortnite skins. They are making plenty on selling other developers Unreal. So they don't even need what they're doing that is probably making them a decent amount of money to be sustainable. But and Steam, Steam's not making Half-Life 3 or anything like that, but they have just the everyone is selling a game on their platform, so they get a cut of all that. So they don't need stuff anyway. That's why they stopped making games, I think. But it's difficult to see kind of the future sustainability is, does it all go free, but are we nickel and dimed, which I wouldn't want to have that be our future, but I don't know.
I want to go back a little bit too, because we mentioned is this PR speak for Nintendo talking about 3.5 million? But there is some proof that it may not be, and that's the fact that there's not been layoffs on their end.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If these weren't performing, there would probably be layoffs and restructures and that kind of thing. And they're the most profitable company in Japan or something, like they're holding some record right now, like the most money or something. I can't remember what the exact thing is, but I mean, it's like they're crushing it. Like it's unbelievable. And so I think it may be less PR speak and more just like they've set realistic expectations for what their margins are between their development and what they need to sell. And it seems like it's working. And I mean, and think about it, like, to move into the digital world, they said, hey, you can save $20 on 2 games. Like who knows what how many people got tiers for a $20 save, like $30 savings with between getting two games for the $100. That's a $30 savings there. So
a lot of smart people did that.
I did that, but I also have a $250 or whatever it is version sitting right over there, unopened.
gotta have the special editions, right? So I think they took the lesser road. I think nostalgia. I mean, there's a lot of things going for Nintendo right now. You think about Microsoft when it comes to nostalgia. For me, it's like it's Halo, right? It's Gears of War, and I can't like Infinite was fun for a while. The story was okay, but I'm not out here going, you absolutely need to play like you need to play this game like you need to play Breath of the Wild, or you need to play Tears, or you need to play Odyssey.
Because we haven't even sat down as a group and played multiplayer like we could, like through the campaign. That update took too long. Like
yeah, and so and I mean Sony, I think they got like God of War and everything, but it's somewhat niche, right? Because it's M-rated. So you're missing out on the younger audience that everybody says, oh, Nintendo's just makes kid games or whatever. But
go into a Call of Duty lobby and tell me it's a kid's game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think that is why Sony is going into it's Sony Pictures. Is that what? Well, not Sony Pictures. Sony PlayStation Studios. So like when they're making their like Last of Us, and I think God of War is in the works. There's got to be other
Amazon
ones.
And Sony.
Yeah, they had Uncharted, they had Gran Turismo. So
didn't they say they're doing another Uncharted?
Who's to say?
I don't know. I thought I saw a headline somewhere that said they were going to do another Uncharted,
But yeah, I mean, when you think about it, like if their games aren't performing the way that they want them to, then yeah, get people to go see a movie about it. Maybe they'll buy the game. But the movie or the TV show might do better and probably cost less.
June 18th, Uncharted 2 movie officially in development at Sony.
There you go. Well, Johnny kind of brought it up about Xbox raising Game Pass, and they've got like different models now, and some are dropping day one games, and because they want to get those sales numbers, and like everybody that I see talking about this is not happy. Like they're not thrilled about it. And so I got to thinking about like what games, like what are you guys currently, or what have you spent the most time playing on NSO? And that doesn't necessarily mean the classic games. Like what do you think you've spent the most time
that's easy
doing? Tetris?
Well, Tetris and booster courses.
So yeah. Cheesy, I know you spent a lot of time with F-Zero.
Yeah, but that's not part of the NSO, right?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, well then that would probably be the one that I've spent the most time on.
Okay. And Johnny?
Oh God, I spent like 2 minutes and everything.
That's true.
That's it. No, probably the booster course pass. And I haven't touched Animal Crossing DLC.
Yeah, me either.
I already had Splatoons. Why they haven't given us new DLC in this thing?
I was making fun of it, and I'm glad I didn't wait because I had fun with what was it called in Splatoon?
Side order.
Yeah, I was joking that they were going to give us that, and Cheesy was going to be stuck holding his.
They probably
Holding the
will
bill.
like next year.
Yeah, I mean they took forever to give Octo expansion. That was like one of the first like free bonuses that they had included, but it was well after it had been out for a while. So the booster pack was a refreshing kind of Microsoft-esque kind of move from Nintendo, where it's like, hey, this stuff isn't out yet, and you get it included. And same with the people that enjoy Animal Crossing, like the Happy Home Designer stuff was just included, and it was there.
So go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was just saying, like, are we actually getting our money's worth for NSO? I know for Game Pass, I'm definitely not getting my money's worth because I haven't played a game on Game Pass since like Lies of P, which I think was like last September.
Stalker comes out here pretty soon, though.
I mean, there's definitely stuff that I'm interested in. That's why I'm keeping the day one stuff. For NSO, I mean, I always like check out the new games for a couple minutes and then never touch them again. So it's really just for the online and the Mario Kart Booster Course Pass. So like after a year, I'm losing money.
So there's an inevitable price increase, right? Like this is always happening. What's funny is I saw a tweet today or yesterday from Super Nintendad saying no, something along the lines of everybody should be complaining about the price of NSO because it's already overpriced for what you get.
Ooh.
I know what Johnny's most played NSO title is. It's the NSO app to buy vouchers and purchase
That's true. That is true.
And purchase NFTs that he doesn't use.
You do need to be an NSO member to get the vouchers. I forgot about that.
So the with the inevitable price increase and the rumors that have been floating around that there's potentially based on shipping like parts that have been shipping that there's a GameCube controller possibly being in the works.
Didn't they have a patent?
I mean, are you talking about a while ago?
Yeah, a little while ago.
There was one there was one a while ago. But this is like parts, and the numbers are similar to the wired controller parts, but there's also a lot more of them. So it has people thinking of the possibility of GameCube games. Now you're talking about games like Wind Waker, Smash, Double Dash.
That's why we're not getting it.
Just a few, right? So
no, but that's why we're not getting the Wind Waker HD release?
Well, that's a good. We could side note that real quick. I firmly believe that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, because of the very real possibility that the next mainline Zelda game could be out a few years, right? Like even with the assets for Tears of the Kingdom, it still took them 6 years, right? And there was a lot of copy and pasting going on there.
And a delay too.
So yeah, that was 6 years with assets. If they're working, and let's just say only, the teams were split, that they've been working on the new Zelda for a while. That's not the Echoes of Wisdom. Like, we're still probably 4 years out. Well, Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD both help keep Nintendo in the Zelda Game of Year category, just by releasing those down the road. We have 3D All-Stars and we have 64 on NSO. So I don't think they have a problem giving us both of them.
No,
so I brought this up
multiple times.
I brought this up on Drip and Jeeps podcast last night because I was thinking the same thing, Josh. Something that they mentioned, though, is it's a little different because 3D All-Stars was a timed exclusive. So even though we do have 64 on NSO and that came out, I don't know, months after we had 3D All-Stars, maybe the reason why it came to the N64 is because it was a timed exclusive and people didn't get to play it.
That could be, because then you're talking about Metroid Prime coming to, but maybe, we often talk about the trilogy and then being to buy those, but maybe Metroid Prime 2 is part of the selling point for NSO, potentially.
But that would be so weird, right? Because we already have Metroid Prime Remaster. Then you would have to have Metroid Prime 2 on the GameCube app, and then what? Metroid Prime 3 never comes out, or that is a game that is physically released.
That's when it's released on the Wii. The Wii comes to NSO,
It's also just a power move by Nintendo because then they can rip that stuff away whenever they want.
Potentially.
Also, Nintendo, they don't care. They're gonna release Luigi's Mansion. Maybe that's why Luigi's Mansion 1 didn't come with Luigi's Mansion 2, but they're gonna release Pikmin 1 and 2 on this NSO app.
Yeah.
For GameCube, which is already out in HD. They don't care. They will charge you $60 for an HD version, and then they'll still have the standard def, no upgraded version on the NSO.
Yeah, but I agree with you, and I think that is a way for them to cater to all their audiences, because maybe there are people that can't afford the HD version, but if you wait a few months and you are paying for the NSO, then it's going to be worth it.
Because did they change anything in Pikmin 1 and 2, or is it?
No, it's just HD. Well, they took out all the brands, all the it used to be actual brands like Duracell batteries, but you couldn't have it anymore.
Interesting. That's funny.
A wholesome way of looking at it is that another way what you're actually looking at is they're going to get us to double dip.
Johnny, I don't understand you. Are you a Nintendo fan? Or are you not a Nintendo fan? You buy everything anyway, and then you want to complain about it.
I like their games, but their practices are kind of
You're the
rough.
problem, man. You're the one that is contributing to that practice.
But they're not going to stop doing it because I'm buying both their games.
Okay, but it's a double standard then.
I never said it wasn't. I'm just saying that is what they're doing. They're getting people to double dip, myself included.
We don't need to rah on the corporation that is.
I'm going to buy Donkey Kong Country Returns again.
No, you're not. I'm really considering not picking that one up.
You're gonna pick it up and you're gonna like it.
I'm
gonna
be happy about it. I've never played it.
I haven't either, but I don't. It's a
you're gonna
remake of a remake
for it. All right.
No, that one's 50, I think, isn't it?
No, it's 60.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, after Luigi's Mansion 2, it's like, man, I don't need that.
Yeah, but Donkey Kong Country Returns is actually good.
He says that now.
No, I do. The Tropical Freeze is phenomenal.
Yeah,
and I have
Freeze isn't
great.
Tropical
I have
Freeze.
played Returns. The only issue I had with Returns was the controls on the Wii, because they had like a weird blowing mechanic, but you had to like waggle. Or it was a weird control
Isn't this a
scheme.
game they gave away for free?
Yes. No, they gave away Tropical Freeze. No,
No,
you're right. You're
no,
right.
no.
On 3DS. On 3DS,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, I have it on my 3DS.
Look, I'm getting the Donkey Kong Country. I'm getting all these games for the collection of games that I will always have access to. All right.
You're buying them digital. You are rolling the dice on that.
No, I'm not, dude. There's no way. We're going to a digital future. They're safe.
If you had all these games digitally on Wii U and you didn't have a space to store them, you don't have them anymore.
You could download them again, though.
I don't think so. Can
You can.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
You can.
download. You can still download
You can-
stuff on the Wii and the DS, I believe. So.
Yeah. So they're not like gone.
The and a lot of people talk, like Crimpus is asking, like, well, what about the size of GameCube games? Are they too much for the Switch's 32 gig storage or whatever it is? Would Nintendo add GameCube games if it requires users to use an SD card or an external storage? I don't like the way I look
Cloud
at this
versions.
is it's no, not that. It would be similar to what we have to do on Xbox right now. Like, you have to download the games that you want to play, and if you want to play something different and you don't have storage, you just swap it around. I don't think that's I know we're used to these like these games that are at our fingertips all the time with NSO because they're so much smaller, but you might have to keep the games that you want on, like if you're playing Metroid Prime or Wind Waker, you might have to keep that one downloaded until you go to the next one.
That just becomes
Right.
like what Rare Replay is. It's just a launcher, and if you want to play that game, you need to go download it more.
Also,
more so.
GameCube games aren't that big. They're not that big.
I think 4 gigs is the size of the cart or the size of the disc.
But what game's 4 gigs? Like their games now are like 4 gigs.
Yeah, I mean, compression should be able to save it.
No, their
down.
discs were 1.46 gigs is all.
Yeah, so you just get an
Wii is
OLED that has
4.7.
64 gigs, and they're gonna release like one GameCube game every 20 months. We're gonna get like Sunshine at launch, and that's it.
I want Wave Race and 1080, please, and Smash Melee online finally.
We still don't have Smash 64. Like, where's
Yeah,
that?
or Smash 64.
Maybe they're doing a Smash. The next Smash game on the new Switch is a Smash collection. So
That would be dope, honestly. Like, give me that.
that's what it
I'd
is.
spend whatever you want.
You can jump into a
Nintendo.
playlist like Halo. Halo Master Chief
Yeah,
Collection.
like the Master Chief Collection.
If they sell us a Smash collection, and we don't
Now-
realize that Ultimate is a Smash collection, we like.
break the target. We like if they could bring back 64, like break the target and all that stuff. Like, I mean,
All those mini games.
yeah,
Yeah,
mini games,
yeah,
and just like the pure nostalgia of it all. Because like 64 is arguably kind of a bad Smash game in comparison of everything. now.
Whoa.
But
Hey.
Well, no,
You're gonna-
that one won't get people mad. It will be when I say Melee is overrated. That will get people mad.
But
People need to get over that game. It's been 20 plus years.
Crawler, you can't forget Genesis 6 when the 64 was going on and Kirby stage comes on and the entire place was going nuts, like
yep,
clapping
sing
their
along
hands
to
and
yeah.
yeah, it was amazing. The energy was awesome. So, but yeah, I mean, I like if the price goes up, GameCube games would be fantastic, right? Like that would help like justify.
What are we
and
paying
ease-
right now though?
80
35.
a year for family for
Family.
expansion, 50 for single, and 35 for family, and 20 for single.
Oh, speaking of NSO and the expansion pack, the Hyrule Edition Nintendo Switch Lite. I don't know if this is just a Best Buy deal, but you get a year of the expansion pack with it.
I believe. Well, I don't know if it's expansion pack, but I know that Nintendo Switch Online 1-year membership is with all of with it was part of the marketing.
Is that just a card, or is that
okay.
just
Potentially just a card, or it's already loaded onto the system. You just got to sign in. So, because
I
I think
actually open it, Johnny?
Oh shoot! I hope it's on. No, I hope it's on like the receipt.
well, it's on the box.
Yeah,
like
it's in the
Shoot.
the marketing's on the box. So
I guess that's not happening. I was gonna give it away because I don't need it, but now I have to open it.
well, you got to open it and throw it in the garbage as soon as you get it.
Because at that point they're already going to have announced Switch 2.
You're gonna
They
be
already
like,
got your
I can already see your TikTok, Johnny. You're gonna be like, I already have the Zelda Switch. This one's going in the garbage, and
guess
you're just gonna hold the OLED.
I technically own 3 copies of A Link Between Worlds because I have 2 of them sitting stuck on 2DSs back here, plus my physical copy.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, but I mean, I think Nintendo needs to lean more into these 99 games and more of the games like this that will help sweeten the deal with NSO as well. Because Tetris 99's probably gotten more playtime for me than I know Mario 35 got a ton. I got as much time with that game as I could because it was just so much fun.
Sell that to people.
They could. I would buy it in a heartbeat. So, we're still going, guys. I apologize that we're going longer. We'll get to topic number 3 now, which is Emio. All right. So, is Emio the right direction for Nintendo? Yesterday, Nintendo revealed a mysterious new project called Emio, which has already raised eyebrows due to its mature rating. How will this shift towards darker themes, including violence, cruelty, domestic abuse, and suicide references, impact Nintendo's family-friendly image?
So it's interesting because it's their first rated M game. So it's like you kind of want to see what they're doing with it. And when they announced it, it was kind of like how I felt with Jordan Peele announcing that he was going to make a horror movie. You're like,
so it's not the first Nintendo published M-rated game.
Oh, what was that?
Eternal Darkness, probably.
Eternal Darkness, Geist, Bayonetta 2.
Okay.
The Devil's Third on Wii U.
Do we know if this is published by Nintendo?
It's published by Nintendo. It's not developed by Nintendo. It's published by
So
Nintendo.
have they ever developed anything then?
Eternal Darkness was I don't know if that was completely internal. I know it was Silicon Knights, so I don't, and of course you had Perfect Dark was also an M-rated game, but that was I went and looked it up today, and it was actually published by Rare also, even though Nintendo was the majority shareholder, or they were technically only making games for Nintendo at that point. So so it's not their first published, but we haven't seen anything really like this since The Devil's Third did not, it was a flop. It was a game that I rushed out to buy because I knew it would be rare because nobody was buying it, and it was it was from Ninja Theory, and so Super Nintendo says in before it's a graphic novel game.
It's definitely a Kirby game, right? And the face looks like a Kirby. Looks like Kirby.
Looks like the final boss of a Kirby game.
Jeezy, I cut you off though. Finish your thought as you were kind of going down with it being not something we see from them often.
Yeah. So I guess the same way that I felt with Jordan Peele is going into making a horror film. Jordan Peele from Key and Peele, the comedian. I got to check this out. I want to see what this is. So when they tweeted this link and it's kind of spooky, part of me is like, oh, okay, I kind of want to see what Nintendo is cooking. But then when this came out, this was Nintendo of Australia that put out the rating for it, or why it has the rating.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of stuff that I don't think I want to deal with. But again, like, I'm still really curious as to why Nintendo is going down this route. And it's fine, like, if they want to try something new and maybe reach a new audience. But like, those are heavy themes.
They are, and I talked about this on the Nindy Prime show last night a little bit. That like maybe this game is more like a Heavy Rain, or like almost like the movie Seven, is what I suggested on there, where it's potentially you're playing as a detective trying to which those themes and whatnot wouldn't be like you would maybe have to
committing those acts. It's you investigating something that happened to those acts were involved.
Yes, which not that it just I have a hard time believing they're going to have us play a character that's like you would allow you to do domestic violence. Like, that just seems so out of pocket, and like, how is that entertaining? I mean,
what's in the box?
They made you right, but I mean, even like Wolfenstein made you do some things that I was like,
you turned that off right away.
I was like, I can't, I can't do this. Like, what? Like, that's no. It was too far, and so like that's kind of the route that I'm imagining it's going to go. Is going to be more like something that we're investigating and maybe trying to track down, versus like a or even potentially like a Saw movie, where like, but that would be super dark, right? Like that could get really, really dark if it goes that route. So it's such a strange play, and this game's getting rated, guys. So that means like it's soon.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Crawler, when you saw this, and like what do you think about the direction?
I mean, it's interesting, but I mean, if they're wanting to sell copies, I don't think that's the way to sell copies of a game. I think, you go into it kind of knowing mature titles don't sell a ton, unless you're Call of Duty. Is Call of Duty even mature anymore? I don't even know.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, it's a different kind of turn. I don't think most likely that this is internal. This is just published by, but it does have like an official Nintendo webpage or whatever. So
yeah, it's published. I think I feel like there was a little bit dug up about who's potentially developing it. I think that's I think it's. Let me take a quick peek. Well, Johnny, what are your thoughts on this?
I disagree with Crawler about it not being the right way to go about it, because it was all people were talking about that day. Like, everybody was talking about who's Emio.
Yeah. Well, maybe not necessarily. Yeah. They definitely got buzz about it, but like, if a game is going to sell, who knows? That's what I was saying. Might not be the way to go.
I'm interested to see, because if Nintendo approved, like if they're publishing it, they went through some approval process. So like, what could this game be? Is it just going to be like they have this creepy, because there's those like cartoony horror games,
like Little Nightmares,
like Little Nightmares. Like, is it a game like that where the trailer is just kind of creepy and then the game is actually not like true horror? Maybe. Or maybe it's something like, I think Fatal Frame was published by Nintendo, I think.
Yeah, the digital only version on the Wii U, I believe.
So we've seen, I could see it being something like that, like a mystery horror game. We know nothing about it, only the themes that they talk about. And I'm assuming similar themes would be in like a Fatal Frame game.
Yeah, especially if it's like recaps or you know, if you're, it's like Fatal Frame was about like taking pictures of ghosts and stuff, and if you're potentially seeing them, like, you know, potentially act out some of those situations or whatever the case may be. Like
Fatal Frames in Smash.
That's
Like,
right.
it's a trophy Smash.
That's a camera. Yeah. I'm not a huge spooks fan. Like I don't like spooks too much, especially like ghost type spooky stuff, because that's real and that freaks me out. But I could
that's
deal
why
with
he
like,
doesn't like Luigi's Mansion. Okay, I got it. I got it.
I could deal with like monsters, like vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. I could deal with zombies. I'm going to check it out because I need to know what this game. I need to know what type of horror game Nintendo publishes.
I guess I'll ask the question just because I don't know. How well is horror received in Japan? Like, is that something that they enjoy? Because like when you think of Metroid doesn't sell that well because they don't like the genre too much.
I don't know. I remember growing up, there was that Grudge movie that was super popular. That was like a Japanese movie.
And don't they have
Ring?
that, like,
The Ring was also popular.
wasn't there a movie called like Suicide Forest or something like that?
Yeah, I think like there is a culture over there that is horror.
Well, and Resident Evil is all
Resident Evil. That's Japanese.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'm kind of with Johnny. Like, I want to see what it's about, but I don't play too many games that are like that. And I remember playing Night in the Woods, and I know a lot of people love that game, but like that game is not for me. Is that
a horror game?
It's not a horror game, but it's just a lot of disturbing themes, I guess. That it's a narrative game.
Johnny's out.
But there's times where
I think that this one's gonna be like a narrative game.
It was just like, it's depressing, and I understand like why it is the way that it is, and like the story that they were trying to tell, and how some people can relate to it. But then there's like a part of the game where you have to have like a knife fight with your friend. Like, it's not somebody that you're trying to hurt. You're just like stupid teenagers, and you're having a knife fight with them. And I didn't like the idea of like controlling myself stabbing or potentially stabbing someone that is supposed to be like close in my life. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I think it's different from when you watch a movie versus you who is in control. And that's not to say like the video games cause violence or anything like that. It's just you're the one that has to push that narrative forward.
Yeah. Well, there was like a whole Russian roulette scene in one of the Black Ops, wasn't there?
Call of Duty's pushed the envelope pretty tough with like the airport scenes and stuff like that.
No Russian and all that stuff.
Yeah. The words on the end of the trailer read either laughing man or smiling man.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I think that's what Emio means. And
the other thing that makes me like look at how like Squid Game took the world by storm kind of when it hit Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
when are we getting the second one of that? Isn't that supposed to be?
Should be soon.
It just like
he's too busy in the Acolyte right now.
Well, that's another thing.
It's very like I think once the rating hit, that's when it like the conversation shifted. But prior to that, like to the reasons for the rating, I think everybody was just kind of like, "Yo, this is there's buzz, right? Everybody wants to know if this is literally like a platformer with a guy with a bag on his head."
Yeah, no, he just pulls off the bag and it's Waluigi. Like, this is our Waluigi game.
I don't know what it's called in Australia, but like ESRB here does not necessarily put together a great narrative of descriptors when it's very sometimes those things are very just out of context and one-off or very obtuse.
See what you're saying? It's like it's not like an overwhelming like this is found throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
There's like potentially a quick scene that has this, and that's why they're having to add it to the rating.
I mean, this is here and now, but like Halo back in the day was rated mature, and it's a teen game now, and like it.
Bro, Turok and Perfect Dark were rated mature. Like, what?
I think there was language in Perfect Dark, but
I think so, yeah. But Turok,
yeah,
not until the second one with the cerebral bore with brain matter going everywhere, right?
Yeah, that was chunks of pixels this big that were flying in different spots.
Everybody wants Nintendo to not be. They want to do different things. They want new IP, and now you get new IP, and you don't want it. Cheesy.
I said I was curious about it,
but it's also in a genre that I think a lot of us aren't super jazzed about.
Maybe I don't know. It's like we got to see more of it. And why?
No, I mean, how many of us sit down? I don't seek out many horror games, and I think Johnny said is the same.
I was a huge Resident Evil fan on GameCube.
I like Resident Evil. I do like Resident Evil, but again, no ghosts, so no spooks.
So the only horror games that I have played, and people are gonna laugh at this because maybe they're not even horror games, but I played Bendy and the Ink Machine. I just thought that art style looked really cool, and it's just kind of unique. And then Doki Doki Literature Club, which is like a dating sim, but turns into horror. Like it's a really...
it's got a disclaimer at the very beginning, like, you sure you want to play this?
Yeah. So I haven't really played too many. But
you should play Outlast on stream.
Oh, I did play Slenderman.
I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see Johnny play Phasmophobia if he's afraid of ghosts.
I've played Five Nights at Freddy's. Those aren't spooky. That's like kid horror. So that's what I'm assuming this is gonna be.
If you don't like ghosts, do you play Pac-Man?
That's a dumb question.
No,
it's cartoon.
He's got him sitting in his
Poltergeist.
office.
I don't know, man. Maybe you're not watching Scooby-Doo. Maybe you're afraid of Scooby-Doo. This is just a question, man. I don't know. Jeez.
Well, I was always told there's no such thing as a dumb question. That's a dumb question right there.
Whoa. Crimpus says the ratings in Australia are more harsh, conservative. It took ages for the first R18 highest rating game to hit Australia since they didn't even have that classification for the longest time.
Was R18
this is 15
equivalent to
this
AO for us?
I think so, because this game is rated 15 in Australia.
Okay. Yeah, we don't see many AO games even here, so
Triple
X, right? And that's the only one I can think of.
Remember the Man Show or whatever, was that rated that also?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, all I know is I recently saw a tweet of that game, and it's worth a fortune now because it got pulled so quick off of shelves. So it's like a very rare Xbox game.
So Josh, you said that this game could be coming out soon, and it makes sense like that they didn't want to put it in their direct, especially if they had a disclaimer before, or an age restriction before watching the video on YouTube. But like, why yesterday? Why did we get this announcement?
Because it's Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't spell Wednesday without NES, so
right.
Maybe it's a Wednesday tie-in game.
Wednesday Addams.
Yes. It's cousin it in there.
Wow. My favorite is that I keep seeing everybody saying this is Puro before his execution.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, part of me does really, like I mentioned earlier, like that maybe it goes like the Heavy Rain route or something. Like maybe this is more of a walking simulator, like Sony style, like
choose your dialogue.
Yeah, like it's very, very narrative driven, and like and very dark, and maybe there are some spooky aspects of it where it's like maybe you don't even know if you're going after like a serial killer, but something, paranormal or or alien or whatever the case may be. Like I don't know. They've literally done nothing but give us plenty to speculate about. And I don't, if it's not being published by Nintendo, or developed by Nintendo but only published, do we really consider it new IP? Like new Nintendo IP, or is it more like a second party game like what Bayonetta is? That's not a Nintendo IP, but they still published it.
If it's not developed by Nintendo, like why did they not show the developer in that trailer? It opened with the Switch thing, and then it closed with Nintendo at the end. They didn't have any.
There, I mean,
they're publishing
as of recent. They haven't shown any developers. Let me see if I can find anything on it. But Crimpus says that guy was the developer.
I think it's probably developed
Emio?
by Good Phil, who made the Yoshi games.
And there's a lot of people speculating that it's this. There was a secret. Somebody mentioned. Well, I think it was. Hang on, let me see if I can pull it up here. The horror dev Bloober.
Oh yeah,
team says it's working on a project for Nintendo platforms, but there's a few things that don't really line up.
Bloober, I think what they did. Bloober, they did Layers of Fear.
Yeah. So it says Emio is technically confirmed to be first party. This is from Nintendo Life.
But they don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and as of right now, it's going to be a topic for next week. But like, even Nintendo World Championships is a partner that's developing it. It's not internal. Pretty much everything internal is all hands on deck for Switch 2.
Well, yeah, because they have them bolted to their desks and they aren't allowed to.
Oh, that's not
Jesus.
No, not them bolted to their desk. The Switch 2 dev kit.
Okay, I was like, man, like this
they might have the developers bolted.
They're really getting into the horror genre here, man.
We know the plot for Emio now. It's just developer crunch.
Jesus.
If you want to play this game, you're never leaving.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and so, like Rival says, I think it's Bloober because they said they're working with Nintendo on kind of like a Retro Studio Metroid situation. I mean, we know nothing. We know nothing other than like, yeah, like. So here it says Project M, although the budget is significantly smaller than the other games that we were working on at Bloober Team, it's extremely important due to our long-term plans. In addition, we are working on it in cooperation with the world's best game creators for Nintendo platforms. So we cannot afford to create just a decent game. Bloober Team CEO is the one that talked about that. So, and then they said the first announcement for Project M will appear later this year, and the title itself will open our second party portfolio under the Broken Mirror Games brand. So
wait, so they call it Project M?
Project M, yes.
Oh yeah, it's definitely them then.
So in the article it says this all ties in with Nintendo's disturbing reveal of a new horror game called Emio, which it is seemingly publishing. Keep in mind, Bloober hasn't confirmed what exactly Project M is at this stage, but unsurprisingly, there's already been some speculation about the two announcements being linked. So,
super.
Yeah, and it is worth noting. What did he say in that first quote? In cooperation with the world's best Nintendo game creators for Nintendo platforms.
It's all PR speak.
Platforms.
Technically, it's already platforms.
Part of
I
the
wish they would
Switch
I wish
family
they
of.
would just show it already. Like, come on, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
They're waiting to sell more units at Christmas this time.
They're waiting
This
to
year.
sell these Nintendo Switch Lites for Hyrule Edition, even though, like, we're the people buying them.
Super Nintendo says Fire Emblem is done by Intelligent Systems and they are not owned by Nintendo. A lot of Nintendo published games aren't made by them.
Well, I mean, a lot of people consider Fire Emblem first party.
Well, it's a Nintendo owned IP.
Oh, okay.
Right. So they're just, I mean, I was reading today that like Nintendo holds shares in like Koei Temco, Bandai, like I think even Square, like it's all these games that like, or all these studios that have been putting out, like it's in Nintendo's best interest to make sure all of these deals go well, because as they hold shares in these companies, when those companies make money, they make money, right? So it's it's a win-win for everybody there.
It behooves them to showcase their game and their directs and
yeah. So aside from the Australian rating, I love the way that they're doing this, and like I think those things in the rating make everybody kind of go like kind of cringe a little bit, right? But it's also rated for 15-year-olds, so it's like, well, how bad is it if they're like, you know? So it's hard to say.
That would mean maybe a teen rating here, like, right?
No, because it's rated M. It's rated M here. So Super Nintendo also says they're a different company, but I believe they work in a Nintendo-owned building. Also, it's not Bluebird Team. So there you go. Super Nintendo bringing it tonight. So love that. Well, we did it, guys. We're almost an hour 40. These keep getting longer and longer. What's happening to us? It's like we're turning into a real podcast. all these gaming shows go so long. But thanks so much for being here with us live, everybody. This was our first time over on X. It looks like we got 71 people over there hanging out on X with us. So thank you so much. And everybody else on YouTube, the different YouTube channels and Twitch, we appreciate you. Thanks for listening after the fact. On Spotify now, guys, there's the ability just to leave comments. The Q&A went away, and you can just comment on each episode now. So if you've got anything you want to add,
so let Johnny know how wrong he is.
There you go. Add that and I'll read it next week.
I wasn't wrong at all today.
Oh, well, it's
I
not
remember.
It's I don't remember ever being wrong.
What was I wrong about today?
Wait for that blue
Prove
tone.
me wrong. What was I wrong about?
That's just the default.
Yeah. All right, guys. Much love, everybody. Thank you so much for everything, and we will see you in the next one. Bye now.